Hi, welcome to Youth Yoga. My name is Melissa and I'll be taking you through your classes this semester. Go ahead and find yourself seated in a comfortable position on your mat. You can have your legs crossed, you can be sitting on your knees, or you can have your legs extended, whatever you find the most comfortable. Take a minute to get some nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. With every breath in, we're trying to lift and lengthen through the back. We're lifting through the crown of the head. With every exhale, we're softening and relaxing the muscles. Take a minute to scan through your body from head to toe, noticing how you're feeling today. If you do find any spots of tightness or tension, try to use your breath out to release that specific muscle group. After you've had a minute to scan through your body and get some deep breaths, we're starting to intentionally deepen the breath. So try to draw a deeper inhale than you were doing previously and do a full, complete exhale, still breathing in and out through the nose. Good. We'll stay here for 3 to 4 more breath cycles. We're starting our practice today laying on our side. So go ahead and come all the way down onto your mat. Laying on the side, hips are stacked and the legs are extended. You can prop your head up like I am, or if it's more comfortable, you can send your arm out and rest the head on the arm. So here's another option too. We're using that top hand for a little bit of support. We're starting with a wide leg lift. So we're pointing the toes, we're lifting the leg straight up, and then we flex the foot and we drop it down behind the leg. And then point the toe, lift the leg, flex the foot, tap to the front this time. Point the toe, really big range of motion, flex the foot, drop to the back. Point the toe, extend up, flex the foot, and tap to the front. So we're going to keep this same pattern going. We point the toe as we're rising the foot up, and we flex the foot as we're making our way back down, alternating from the front to the back of each leg. We've got one more. Nice job. Go ahead and stack your hips again. We're starting with a bicycle pedal. So we're just bending that top knee, rotating just like you would be if you were pedaling a bike. Two more rotations and then we'll switch the direction. So rotate to the back now, pedaling in the opposite direction. Three more. Good, last one. And drop that foot down. We're switching sides. So go ahead and come onto your other side. Again, choosing to prop the head up or extend the head down. Legs are straight out from the body, that top hand supports. Point the toe, lift the leg, flex the foot, drop to the back. Pointing and flexing. We want a nice big range of motion here as we're just bringing a little bit of warmth, a little bit of heat to the leg muscles. Two more sets. And last time, lifting, tap to the front, and lift, tap to the back. Good job. Go ahead and stack those hips again, starting that bicycle pedal. We're pressing through the foot. Two more. And pedal to the back. Last 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Rest that leg. Go ahead and bring yourself all the way up to a comfortable seated position. We're facing the long portion of the mat and we're opening our feet nice and wide. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're reaching to one side, taking your other arm up and over into just a slight side bend. We're still warming up, so this doesn't have to be anything crazy. We're keeping our shoulders stacked and the ribs are wide and open. Changing sides, reach down to the other side. Bring your opposite arm up and over. Ribs are wide and open. Coming back to center, we're going to be folding forward over the ground. So you can reach your hands out to your feet or you can extend your arms to the front, whatever you find best. So start by taking a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, hinging forward. Keeping that back nice and straight. We're only coming as far down as we can today without rounding or arching the back. The head and the neck are an extension of the spine, so we want to be careful not to tilt the chin up like this, and we also want to be careful not to drop the chin down. Both of those postures put extra pounds of pressure on the cervical spine, the neck. Take one more deep breath. From here, we'll be transitioning into a tabletop. So go ahead and come on over onto the main part of your mat. We're into a tabletop, and right away we transition to a down dog. So we're sending the hips up toward the ceiling. We're pressing the hands forward and lengthening through the backs of the legs. We're pressing the ribs down toward the legs so that we're not arching forward like this, but we've got our ears directly next to our arms. Take 2 to 3 deep breaths here. Good. Softening the knees, walking the feet forward. Take a deep breath in. Circle sweep the arms all the way up, reaching up to the ceiling. And then we're diving back down into a forward fold. Letting the hands rest wherever they comfortably do. The head and the neck are completely relaxed. Knees are soft. We're pushing into the heels and lifting up through the sitting bones. 2 deep breaths. Good. Soften the knees. Circle sweep the arms all the way up. We're getting ready for a warrior two. So go ahead and drop those arms down. We're taking the right foot and stepping to the front. The left foot is in the back. We've got a nice bend in our front knee. Shoulders float directly over the hips. And we're checking the front knee to make sure that it's not rotating inward. Knees and ankles tend to roll in. So take a minute to just rotate that knee open so that it's pointing towards your middle toes, and we're extending both arms out. Collarbones are wide and open. We're looking over the front hand, and we'll stay here for a few breaths. Straightening out the front knee, we're shifting into a triangle. So that bottom hand comes down, the top arm lifts, shoulders are stacked. From here, we bend the top elbow, wrapping the hand around behind the back. We're spinning the ribs up toward the ceiling. Trying to keep both legs straight. If your legs are tight today, feel free to keep a little bend. This is fine with a bend in the knee too. Sending that top arm back up. We're bending our front knee, coming back up to a warrior two. Arms are parallel to the ground. Stay with a nice deep breath in and out through the nose. Good, dropping those hands down. We're turning to the long portion of the mat, finding our weight evenly distributed through both feet. We're coming to a standing straddle split. So we're hinging forward. Nice straight back, hands drop down. Take your right hand and reach it toward the left leg. The left arm is going to come up and over, pointing up to the ceiling. We've got our weight evenly distributed through both feet. We're stretching the hamstrings. We're rotating through the back. Then coming back to center, hands come down to the mat, and we're bending one knee, straightening the other, and then bend your other knee. So we're doing kind of a miniature lunge from side to side. Keeping that back nice and straight, so we're not rounding or curving at all through the back. We've got one more on each side. Coming back to center, soften your knees, come up nice and slow. Take your time. If you ever feel dizzy after being completely upside down, rest in a child's pose. We're stepping the left foot forward. The right foot is in the back. Rotating that knee open. Here's our warrior two. Keeping the shoulders stacked directly over the hips. We're reaching and extending through the fingertips. Lifting through the crown of the head. 2 to 3 more deep breaths here. Straightening out that front knee, shift through the spine. That bottom arm comes down, the top arm points up to the ceiling, and then we're bending our elbow, wrapping the hand around behind the back. Sending that top arm back up, we're bending our front knee, coming back up to a warrior two for a few breaths, and then we'll be coming back to that same standing straddle split. Good, dropping those arms down, turn towards the long side of your mat. We're doing that same hinge forward. Nice straight back. This time the left hand reaches over to the right leg and the right arm comes up and over. We're spinning our ribs up towards where the wall and the ceiling meet. Staying grounded through the big toe, the pinky toe, and the heel of each foot. Good, wrap that arm back around. We're starting that same little lunge. Moving back and forth from one side to the other. Good, one more on each side. Once you're back at center, soften your knees, come all the way up. We're getting ready for a high lunge. So we're turning back to the top of the mat. The right foot is in the front, the left foot is in the back. All 10 toes point to the front and the feet are on 2 separate tracks. Breathe in, sending the arms up, palms face each other. Take a minute to settle or ground through your low body and extend and reach through the upper body. We've got a couple breaths here, and then we'll be shifting into a balancing airplane. Start to transfer your weight to your front leg, dropping the arms down, and then we're picking the back leg up and reaching the fingertips to the back wall. If you fall out of it, just get right back into it and pull the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Bending that grounded knee, come back to your high lunge, arms extend back up to the ceiling. We've got about 3 breaths here, and we're stepping into a chair. Bringing those arms down, step your back foot forward, palms come together, both knees are bent. The tailbone shoots to the back. You can keep your palms in, or you can extend the arms if that's comfortable in chair for you. Now we're taking our right foot, stepping it back, coming up to that high lunge. Staying with a nice stable breathing pattern. 2 more deep cleansing breaths. And start to slowly, with control, shift into your balancing airplane. We're bringing the as parallel to the ground as we can. Palms can be up, down, or sideways. Head and neck stay right in line with the spine, and then bend your front knee, set the back leg down, and the arms reach back up. Three more deep breaths. Stepping into a chair, drop those arms down, pull the back foot forward, feet are planted, palms are in, or the arms are extended, either way. Straightening those knees, take a deep breath and reach the arms up. Breathing out, we're swan diving down. Palms come to the mat and we step to a down dog. Getting a few breaths here. Go ahead and drop both knees down so that we're into a tabletop. The right foot steps forward. Arms extend up. We're into a kneeling lunge. Grounding into the front foot and the back shin. Taking our left hand, we're bringing it to the outside of the knee. The right hand comes around towards the spine, and we're just getting a simple twist through the upper back. Shoulders relax. Good. Turning back to center, drop back into your tabletop, pulling the left foot forward. Breathing in, arms extend up, lengthen and reach through your spine. And then taking that right hand, we're bringing it to the outside of the knee. The left hand comes behind the back, and we turn, looking to the side or slightly to the back. Good job. 2 more breaths. Turning back to center, we're into a tabletop, and we'll go ahead and rest in a child's pose. So take a minute just to settle down into your mat. Relaxing, breathing, reconnecting. We're specifically focusing on Relaxing the low back here. And we will stay here for about 4 more breath cycles. Good, we're coming up to a tabletop. From a tabletop, we're into a kneeling side plank. So we're taking our right leg and kickstanding it over the long portion of the mat. The right hand plants down. We rotate so the left hip is on top, the right hip is on the bottom, and the left arm opens up toward the ceiling. Shoulders are stacked. Reach through those fingertips like you're trying to touch the ceiling and lengthen through that back leg. So we've got a nice long line. Now we're taking that top arm and bringing it up and overhead so the palm points down to the ground, deepening that side stretch. Good, point the arm back up to the ceiling and then bend the arm, wrap it around behind the back. Ribs are wide and open. Nice job. Turning to a tabletop, we're doing that same thing on the other side. The left leg kickstands over. The right leg extends. Take a breath in, send the right arm up. Letting those fingers grow toward the ceiling. Then the arm comes overhead. Good, pointing back up to the ceiling. Wrap that arm around behind the back. Wide ribs. And we're turning back into a tabletop. We're doing some tricep push-ups. A couple things to remember about tricep push-ups. They're quite a bit different than your regular run-of-the-mill push-up. So one difference is in a regular push-up, the hands are wide and the elbows point out to the sides like this. In a tricep push-up, the hands are more narrow. They're directly underneath the shoulders and the elbows point straight to the back. So they're actually pointing to the back wall behind you. The hips stay stacked on top of the knees, so we're just hinging down, lowering the forehead down, and then coming back up. You want to be careful not to roll on your knees. So if you look from the side, this is not what we want right here. That's a little bit rough on those knee joints. So keep your shins in contact with the mat. Have the hands directly underneath the shoulders and then lower that forehead down and then press straight back up. We've got 9 more. You can do just a tiny bend or you can bring that forehead all the way down to the ground. Last 5. Here's 4. Good. 3, 2, and 1. So a tricep push-up works the back of the arm, the triceps, these muscles back here. Go ahead and find a down dog. We're coming back up onto our mats. Soften the knees, walk the feet forward. Take a deep breath in, stand all the way up. And then breathe out, dropping those arms down. Turning to the long portion of the mat, hands are at the hips, feet are firmly planted. We're starting a hip circle. So it almost resembles a hula hooping motion. You can pick whichever direction you want to start with. And each circle gets just a little bit bigger. We're being careful to keep those shoulders low and relaxed. Once you feel like you're at your widest rotation, go ahead and start over, starting small, going the opposite direction. And again, grow each circle just a little bit bigger than the previous one. We've got 3 more. Once you're back at center, we're getting ready for a tree. So shift your weight onto one side, bring your other leg up, starting with those palms in just to help with balance. And then once you're ready, extend the arms all the way up. Keeping the core nice and tight. Shoulder blades pull down, fingertips extend. Take 3 to 4 more deep breaths. Slowly stepping out of that, we're switching sides. So go ahead and bring your other leg up, keeping that hip and that knee open to the side. Extending the arms when you're ready. Tightening through the belly, reaching and lifting through the fingers and the head. Two to 3 more breaths. Good. Stepping out of that, returning back to the top of the mat. Feet are hips distance apart. Roll the shoulders back. We're clasping onto the hands behind the tailbone. Knees are soft. Breathe in, pull the shoulders toward the spine, and then we're breathing out, diving the head down. We're into a forward fold with a chest expansion. Trying to let all of those muscles lengthen and relax. Two more breaths. Staying in that forward fold, go ahead and let your hands fall down towards the mat so that you're into a regular forward fold. We've got a few breaths here, and then we'll be coming up into a chair. We're getting ready to soften the knees. We're sitting the hips back, peeling the ribs up. Palms come into the heart center. And then straightening those knees out. Take a deep breath in, reaching up. We're breathing out, pulling those hands back down, settling into a chair. And then straightening the knees, breathing in. And exhaling. Good. Keep that same flow going. Taking it at your own perfect pace. However you're breathing today. So each lift is a breath in, and each exhale, we're settling down. We've got 2 more. Good. Standing all the way up. We're into a warrior one. The right foot is in the front. The left foot steps to the back. Heels are on the same line. Front knee is bent. Turn those hips to the top of the mat, and we send the arms up. We're pushing the feet away from each other so that we activate the legs, so that we're not just standing here, but we're actually activating the muscles by pressing the feet away from each other. When you're ready, turn to a warrior 2. Strong parallel arms. Now the back arm drops down, the front arm lifts into a reverse warrior. We're looking up toward the ceiling. Shifting into a triangle, we're straightening out that front knee. The right arm drops down, that left arm extends, shoulders are stacked. Taking that top arm, returning to the mat, stepping to a down dog. Good, soften the knees, walk those feet forward. Deep breath in, circle sweep the arms up. Staying upright, dropping the arms down. Warrior one on the left. The left foot is in the front, the right foot is in the back. Arms extend up. Nice job. Here's our warrior two. Shoulders float over the hips, looking over the front fingertips. Keep that activation through the legs. Now the back arm drops, the front arm extends into a reverse warrior, reaching toward the ceiling, almost like we're trying to create space between our ribs. Straightening out that front knee, shifting into a triangle. Both legs are straight. Good, turning to a down dog. From a down dog, we're back into a tabletop, coming to a spinal balance. So we're starting by sending the right arm out to the front, the thumb is on top, the left leg pushes back, the toes point down. We're reaching and extending, and then we drop into a tabletop. Now the left arm, the right leg extend, and then back to a tabletop. Reaching and lengthening. Keeping a little tuck in the chin so that we've got length through the back of the neck. We've got two more on each side. Breathing in and out. Inhale. Exhale. One more set. Good. From here, resting in child's pose, opening those knees wide. Bringing the hands to the stacked fists or maybe down to the mat today. Staying here for 8 breath cycles, reconnecting, checking in with your body again. Noticing how you're feeling. Three more deep breaths. Good. Coming up into a tabletop, we're coming to a pose called thread the needle. So we're in a tabletop, we're breathing in, sending our right arm out to the side. As we breathe out, we're crossing it through. So the right arm is coming through the left arm and the left leg. The right shoulder comes all the way down. The hips stay stacked. And then send that left arm up. Really great stretch for the shoulders. Two more deep breaths. Turning back to your tabletop. Same thing on the other side. Take a breath in. Send that left arm out to the side. As you breathe out, cross that arm through. The left ear and the left shoulder come down to the mat. The hips stay stacked. And that right arm opens. Two more breaths. Good, we're back into a tabletop. Go ahead and come down to sitting on your mat. Sitting cross-legged. We're coming to somewhat of a seated cat-cow. So we'll be doing an expansion through the arms and then a curling and rounding through the arms. So start by sitting tall. Take a deep breath in. Send those arms out. As you exhale, round into a cat back and cross your arms in front of your body. And then sit upright, breathe in, open and expand. And then as you breathe out, switch your arms so that the opposite arm is on the top as you round through the back, almost giving yourself a hug. Going back and forth from side to side. We've got 2 more. Good, coming back to center. We're gonna roll down onto our mat, but I'm gonna be going the long way. So I'm gonna turn so that I'm facing the long portion of the mat. Rolling down, arms are open. We're extending our feet up into a T shape. We're pointing the toes and opening the feet. And then flex the feet, close the feet. Point the toes, open the feet, flex the feet, and close the feet. We've got a few sets of these to do. We're strengthening the legs, but we're also getting a little bit of core work in here. Good, last 2. Go ahead and separate those feet. We're dropping the right leg down. The left leg slowly follows, and the left foot closes on top of the right foot. That top foot is always going to fall short, so rotate through your hips so that you line up the sides of your feet. Shoulder blades stay planted down, and then start that same thing. Sweep the left leg up and over. Close the right foot on top of the left foot. Rotate through the hips, line up the sides of the feet, and again. Moving back and forth from side to side, trying to let those feet stay as far away from each other as we can. Remember, each time you close the foot to add that rotation in so that we deepen the twist through the low back. We've got just a couple more, and then we'll be doing a similar stretch for the shoulders and the upper back. We've got 1 more on each side. Good, draw those knees into the ribs and get a couple breaths here. This is a laying down form of child's pose. So take 2 to 3 deep breaths here. We're opening our arms out to a T, palms are up, and both knees are going to drop off to the right side. So bend both of your knees and send them both over to the right. Palms are open. Take your left arm, reach up to the ceiling, and then close palm on top of palm. Take a deep breath in, sweep that arm up and over, all the way back to your starting point. And then same thing, reaching up to the ceiling, and then closing palm on top of palm. You can flow this like we're doing right now, or you can really slow it down and stay either with your palms closed or maybe your palms wide open feels good to your back today. So make it your own. Good, sending that arm all the way up and over. Arms stay open, switch your knees off to the left. So both knees are bent and they point to the left. We're doing that same thing with the right arm coming up and over. Palms come together, and then use that deep breath in to widen back out to your T shape. Good. My shoulders are slightly tight today, so I'm going to pause here in this T shape, but you can go ahead and keep rotating. bringing that right palm on top of the left palm, and then using your inhale to open back up. We'll go through a couple more. Good, here's the last one. Breathing and opening, and exhaling, closing. Nice job. Bring those knees back up into the ribs for a couple breaths. And we're going to turn back, going the normal way on our mat. So go ahead and bring yourself up. Rolling down. We're into a laying down butterfly. So we've got the soles of the feet finding each other and the knees rest open. You can use your hands to support the legs, or you can let your knees just naturally relax. There should be a little bit of space between the low back and the mat, so we don't have activation going through the core right now. Take a couple nice deep breaths. Good, bring those knees together. We're extending our legs all the way down onto the mat. Hands are next to the body. We're picking up the right heel, maybe just an inch, and then lowering it back down. And then again, just do a bit of a heel hover and lower. It's really easy to lift that foot up high, but we want to keep it down low. So you're just barely hovering that heel over the mat. Good, two more. Once your heel is back down, we're opening the right foot to the right. So your right toes are going to point off to the right side. So your inner ankle is shining up toward the ceiling. We're doing a side sweep. So keep that inner ankle open. We're extending out to the side and then bringing back to center. And then extending out to the side and bringing back to center. You want as wide of a motion as you comfortably can. The entire time, the inner ankle stays facing up. So those toes are going to stay continuously rotated open. Good, we've got two more. Once your heel is back down onto the ground, relax your right foot. We're onto the left leg doing the heel hovers. Just barely picking that heel up and lowering it back down. We're strengthening and opening the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is a huge muscle in the lower body that connects to the same vertebrae in your spine that your bottom ribs do. So the psoas muscle starts in your back and then it wraps around over your hips and connects on the inner leg. The psoas muscle is what allows the body to jackknife. It lets us fold. Good, one more. And the psoas muscle is often tight in people. So go ahead and rotate your left foot open to the side so your inner ankle shines up to the ceiling. Do that same side sweep and then come back to center. Sweeping out to the side and back to center. Keep that side sweep going. The psoas muscle carries the most sympathetic nerve fibers of any group in the entire body. Your sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. So it often carries tension and stress. So doing some simple exercises like this will help open and release a tight psoas. Last one. Good, rotate those toes back up to the ceiling and pull the knees into the ribs. We're into a laying down pigeon, so we're sending our right leg up and we're flexing the foot. We're taking our left ankle, crossing it over the right knee, and we're reaching behind the right leg and pulling the legs in toward the ribs. If this is too deep of a stretch today, simply keep your right knee bent with the sole of your foot on the mat. So here's another great option. You're still getting all of that good stretching through the legs and the hips. So choose if you want your foot down or your foot extended. Take 3 more nice deep breaths. Good. Bending the knees, soles of both feet come down onto the mat. Now we're switching sides. So the left leg is extended, the foot is flexed. Take your right ankle, cross it up and over, reaching down behind that left leg, draw the legs in towards the ribs. Again, we've got that option to keep the knee bent and the sole of the foot on the ground instead. Take 3 to 4 more deep breaths here. Nice job. Hugging both knees into the ribs. Take a minute to point the toes and then flex the feet. Pointing the toes and flexing the feet. Good. Bring those feet to stillness and start a simple ankle rotation, moving in any direction that you find comfortable. You can switch it up, or you can stay with that same pattern. All right, we're extending our left leg all the way down to the mat. The right leg points straight up, toes are pointed. So your legs would form a 90-degree angle here. You can leave your leg extended or you can support it. If your legs are tight, bend your knee and just draw that right knee up instead. Good. Now we're opening that leg halfway out to the side. So take your right leg and open it out to the right side. Again, using that hand for support if it's comfortable. And then bending the right knee, arms open out to a T shape. Cross the knee up and over so that the hips are directly on top of each other. The upper body stays pressed into the mat. And coming back to center, slide your right leg all the way down. That left leg extends up, toes are pointed. Support the leg if you want. Bend the knee if you want. Make it your own. When you're ready, open your left leg halfway out to the side. Probably using that hand for support at this point. When you're ready, bend your knee, cross it up and over, arms come out to a T, hips are stacked on top of each other, getting that great twist in the low back. Good. Go ahead and bring that hip back down to center. You can extend your legs all the way down for the breathing practice, or you can leave your knees bent with your feet on the ground, whatever you find more comfortable. Hands can be on the belly or resting next to the body. Before we begin, take a few deep normal breaths in and out through the nose. Today we'll be practicing what's called the 3-part breath, sometimes also called balloon breath or belly breath. We're going to be breaking the breath apart into sections. So we'll be breathing in and out through the nose. Start by drawing a deep breath in through the nose, letting the belly rise up. Then we're filling the ribs. And then finally, just a slight lift in the collarbone. And then we breathe out, releasing from the top down. So let your collarbones relax. Exhaling the air out of the ribs. And finally letting that belly sink down. So a great way to imagine this breath is if you pour a glass of water, it fills from the bottom to the top. And then if you pour it out, it empties top to bottom. That's what we're trying to do with the breath. We're normally chest breathers. We have a very shallow breath usually, and we breathe with our secondary breathing muscles, which are found up in the chest and shoulders, which can lead to chronic tension and tightness through the upper back and even into the neck sometimes. So we want to be breathing with a diaphragm. So again, take a deep breath in, let the belly expand like a balloon, filling that air all the way up to the collarbones. And then take your time breathing out, letting everything relax. The belly is the last thing to fall. We'll do a few more breaths like that. This is the deepest breath that we can possibly take. And it's actually the breath that we're born with. If you ever watch a newborn or a baby sleep, they are doing that perfect, beautiful belly breathing. So take a minute just to get back to that. One more breath cycle. And that full, complete exhale. Good. We're extending the legs all the way down onto the mat. Arms are next to the body, palms are up. We're getting ready for our final relaxation. This should be anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. So make sure that you have a stopwatch nearby or a timer, and that you stay here for 7 to 10 minutes, breathing deep and being still, letting the body completely relax, reset, and rejuvenate. Thank you.